It seems that no matter how far we move away from belief, love will always make us believers again. It just has a way of sneaking up on us and turning us into the very thing that we thought we'd never be again, or into something that we didn't even know existed. That is the transformational power of love. I had, for all intents and purposes, come to the conclusion that there was no such thing as an afterlife. And it only makes sense from a rational point of view, from a logical point of view. Before you came into realizing who you are, you never were. You have no memory of anything beyond your birth. Anything that happened before your birth, you have no memory of because you were not. And that only makes sense to carry over for death and beyond death. Even biologically, we know that the personality is developed throughout the young lifespan, and it changes over time. So where did the idea of the afterlife come from? And why is it that so many cultures and so many people, so many societies have a strong belief in an afterlife? And I'd gotten that question so many times. If it's not real, why do so many people believe it? And I think it's a valid question. And for so long, I had thought that, and this doesn't mean that this isn't true, but I had thought that the reason for that is, or the reason why that is, it is birthed out of a fear of death. Man fears the idea of not existing anymore, and so man creates an eternal existence. It's also born out of the idea that there has to be some punishment beyond death for those who are not punished in life. And there has to be some reward beyond death for those who were not rewarded in life. It only makes sense. And then there's the idea that there always has to be more. There has to be more out there than this very small existence that we experience. And so because of that, we create an afterlife. But then I saw something. I experienced something. I felt something that I'd never experienced before. And that was real love. The kind of love that makes all of the suffering in life worth it. The kind of love that makes all of the pain that we endure worth it. The kind of love for someone that makes you come to a conclusion that you could never imagine being without that person. And not only can you not imagine being without that person, but you can't imagine only having so little time to spend with that person. It's just as unbelievable, as all of the things that we believe. What's also unbelievable is that we could only have such a short amount of time with someone who we have so much love for, so much admiration for. And to know a person who their very existence makes you feel everything good in the world. It's impossible to think that one day that could end, that one day it will end. And so, a love that strong forces a person to create something beyond what we know. Because it cannot just end. Something this good, something this beautiful cannot just end. And when you have that type of love, when you have that type of bliss in someone, you're forced to create something beyond. And it's just as real as the experience that we are having here and now. I think sometimes we forget just how strong love is, how big love is. We forget the power of love and what it's capable of. And so I had to ask myself, if love is so strong, if it can be so powerful, that it can essentially force the mind to create something that we do not know to exist. And it can force the mind to solidify that belief and that idea to the point to where it does exist. Not only to that mind, but for every mind that it touches. Because when that belief is created, it spreads itself throughout cultures and societies and humanity. And other people latch on to it because they want an afterlife as well. They want more as well. And if they haven't experienced that level of love, they may use that belief and that idea for ill will, like control, like greed. But for those who have loved, they know. And so if love can create something that strong, then it has to be possible that it can actually create the afterlife which we desire, the eternity with that love that we desire. Who are we to limit love? And who are we to limit the mind and the possibilities that await? I don't know if there's an afterlife. But I do know that with love, there's the possibility And maybe with love, it's inevitable. Maybe it's a fact. Maybe it exists. Not just because we want it to, but because it has to.